one more tip. See those rocks down in there? During the day, they collect the heat from the sun, and at night, they radiate that heat out. So I've been putting rocks next to my plants because it's been so cold at night. Now, when it starts getting warmer, I'll take the rocks out. Let me show you a little bitty one. This is, I'll have to bring it up, it's a little tray of seeds, and the only seed that came up, I planted this a long time ago. Well, this particular tomato, it's kind of an unusual tomato. The vines are very thin and delicate. One came up, so I put those rocks like that next to it to radiate heat to it so it doesn't die. And it'll do okay. And it's still alive. I'm amazed. I think I got 2 of those to live last year. So I think I have a few more of those seeds. I'm going to try again. They're really I never had tomato plants like them before, but the tomatoes are kind of different, and they're green and red striped and long, but they're little and they're so tasty. Anyway, we'll see what happens, but that's one more tip, is to use the rocks. Welcome to Gail's Garden Herbs and More. An inventive thing. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things, and they're not big in grandeur because I'm not big in grandeur. I've never been very strong. I just keep piddling and figuring out ways to use my brain because I'm not physically strong or have, I get very weak really easy, so I have to use my head and things. Long story I don't want to get into, but let me show you something. Okay, because it's getting really cold in the nights, a lot of people use cloches, but I have a problem with the wind blowing them over or something like that. So find anything to put around the outside to hold them from blowing over. These little tomato stakes hold them in, and even this little piece of wood, it's kind of leaned up, and I got a little rock against it to hold it in because there's rocks underneath, and I couldn't get it down. I just have to do what I can do. Also, if you have tomato cages, whether it's a tomato or not, that one happens to be, but the tomato cage will keep it from blowing over. If it kind of blows over, it'll usually tip back in place. I found a stick on this and some tomato stakes and another little broken stick. I'm going to take those out later, but for now, they're holding up those little lightweight plastic cloches. I usually take the cloches off. I just put them on because it's getting later in the evening now for tonight, because it's been getting really, really cold. Alright, I don't have a lot of money to buy a lot of little gadgets. This little thing to keep this gate shut is just a piece of wire and a long bolt, and then you can stick it in behind the wire to hold it shut. So the gate, because the cat tends to jump up there and ride the gate open, and then while other dogs from the neighborhood and stuff get in. But if I do that, she can't get the gate open, and the dogs and other stuff can't get into my garden area. That's another little thing that I did. Okay, now on this little thing, there is a hole in the bottom of that white tub in the center. So I thought, what plant likes water a lot, and they can get the nutrients of the water going down through the good soil? Nutrients are washing out in that water that comes out the hole. So underneath it, I put a chocolate mint plant, because mint loves water, and so it will keep moist and cool from the shade from the top, but it gets some sun from the sides, and it gets lots of water. I'm not wasting water. So that's another little thing that you can do if you've got higher up plants. Think about what you can put under it and what would be the best plant. Now, you don't want to put a plant under there that likes to be kept dry feet. Now, I don't want this to get so wet and muddy that it just it can't breathe. The roots can't breathe, but you know what I mean. So you have to be careful as to what plant you put where. Okay, this one, some people may wonder in my videos why I have sticks and stuff sticking out of my plants. Well, the cats were liking to get in there and lay and sleep on the cool self-heal in the summer when it's hot, and they smother out my plants, and a little spot that gets opened up, then they start digging in it and pottying in it. So I put the sticks and stuff in there to make it uncomfortable so the cats will leave it alone. Another little thing you can do. Rest of you may do that too. I don't know. It's just something I do. Okay, at the dollar store they had several of these little clippy things. And it's like a mini chalkboard. But if you write on it with chalk and it rains, it comes off. Okay, so what I did was I found little different sticks and stuff. And it's a little tiny clothespin on there. And then I just write it on the tape and put the tape across the front. Later I can take the tape off and maybe use these again next year. So, there's different things that you can use for keeping things labeled and stuff like that. Okay, also at the dollar store I got a litter pan. It's new, it hasn't been used by the cats. But I put my little seed things in here because when I water or it rains or whatever, it collects the water underneath. And actually, it's good once it's good and wet, if it can continue to, you don't want to drown them, but it'll pull up water from underneath. You don't have to buy the expensive pans from the grower store or whatever. Just a litter box will do. I also used from the Dollar Tree, I had got a couple of cookie sheets that have the lips around the side. I've put it on that before. I'm using them at the house right now as a drip pan, so when I water my plants they don't drip, because I've got some cucumber plants in the house. But that is something else you can do. It saves money. Okay, I had an extra little thing that went on the bottom of a pot. I think that pot, I'm not sure what I did with that pot, if it cracked or I'm using it for something else or what. Anyway, I put it underneath these other cheap black pots, like this one. I do stuff like that, so that all the liquid doesn't run out and the ground doesn't dry out as fast. Now, if you've got a lot of rain, you want to make sure that you don't get your dirt, too wet. You might have to take it off and empty the water out of the pan underneath. But this place tends to get really dry, especially during the summer, so that's why I do that here. Oop. Shoot. Okay. Good. It didn't go off. Oh, I hope it did what I wanted it to do, though. Okay. I get so busy and happy. Anyway, fruit of the spirit, peace. And I wish peace for all of you during this time that we're going through. And with that, I will sign off. Bye-bye now.